Welcome to the before and last video. Essentially all of these will disappear from your news feed and you will all be sad, so make sure you watch it all the way through. We finally made it back to English speaking territory, which is a bit of a relief, I guess, though we love sort of learning new languages. It's nice to not have to think about that towards the end of our travels. And so the first stop was London, because how can you go to England and not go to London? I guess I'll quickly touch that this was the beginning of our introduction into all the strikes. So there was a transit strike while we were in London, making things a little bit tricky. But we were taking things easy, and the highlight was definitely seeing friends. So we have some footage and some pictures, but head to the blog if you want in-depth look. But outside of that, we, to Will's request, headed to a bunch of museums.
Obviously.
So I'll throw this to Will. What was your favorite exhibit, or what stood out to you from the museums?
And it has to be something the British Museum for me, I guess. Weirdly enough, the one that we ended up paying for was so both museums are obviously free, but we ended up paying for this, I guess, Women in History exhibit within the British History Museum.
What was it called? Women in Power,
British Museum.
Or it was cool.
Yeah, it's Women in Power, and it combined
Power and Myth. I don't know.
Yeah, it combined basically every culture that you can imagine, and significant or powerful women within those cultures, and these really well maintained, beautiful artifacts or pieces of art from those cultures and stories. And so
I wouldn't say it was just the powerful ones. Like, some of them were the ones that were demified.
Yeah, but I just felt like you learned so much of the place that women idols and or demigods or demons played in just different cultures across time. Women being symbols of birth or symbols of death, and I don't know, super cool. Love that one the best probably, but yeah, everything in both of those museums I thought was a ton of fun. So thank you for doing that with me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Wow, the New Zealanders have a whole exhibit.
Oh, nice. Good job, New Zealand.
We also hit up a board game bar, which is super random, but a thing you can do in big cities.
Yeah. We played a new board game.
True. We taught it to ourselves.
A version of King Domino, an expansion pack to King Domino.
A new expansion.
And had a couple of mocktails there. We also went to a couple different, what are they called? Marketplaces for food. There was one with Dave, and then I went to one without you while you got Subway before one of the other highlights in London, which was going to see the Book of Mormon. Yes. So it was a little gift from my parents to us.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Go check out the blog for details, but we don't have footage, obviously, because that's not allowed.
That was so funny. Would recommend to anyone who has not yet seen it.
Yeah, and then the next stop on our England adventure was Oxford. With Dave.
And so that was all to visit Dave. A, to just hang out with him. B, Oxford is a place that you don't really go to unless you know someone in Oxford who can kind of help you check out all of these individual colleges, because otherwise you have to pay for each one. But with Dave, he was able to get us into a couple for free. The answer is yes.
Where are we?
A coffee.
We're in Oxford.
No.
Balliol College.
I was also right. A weird layout, unlike any other college or university I've ever seen before, but it was cool. Learned a lot from Dave. Thank you for being our host
and guide.
And one of the things we learned was all the authors that came to Oxford. I wonder, can you remember any of the ones that we learned about?
Yeah. So there's Lord of the Rings. So J.R.R. Tolkien. How many R's are there? I don't know.
Yeah.
Narnia.
Which is C.S. Lewis. Yeah.
Harry Potter lady.
So we thought that, but then I actually looked it up, and she applied to Oxford, but they rejected her.
Oh, that's very awkward. Dave lied to us. Hey, Dave, for the next tour.
Yeah.
You gotta adjust that.
That or fact check me and tell me that I'm wrong. But one of the two.
Those are the ones I remember, because it was these are all fantasy ones that have kind of sculpted our world quite a bit.
Yeah, and then there's also Dr. Seuss, which I didn't know, but again, looked up.
Cool. Yeah, I guess it was the place to go.
Yeah.
But it was lovely. The architecture there was incredible, and we got to see a rowing race.
Yeah.
Which is not a regalia.
I guess, maybe.
Ooh, cut this out. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we had some Pim's Cups and good time. Like, you know, met up with a few of Dave's friends that were still on campus. And it was a really relaxing thing to do, even though we had to walk a gazillion miles to get there. But that was quite nice. And then we just hit up a bunch of pubs in the afternoon.
Yep. Which we carried on through to the next place that we went before hitting up Scotland, which was York.
Did we hit up a bunch of pubs in York?
We hit up, we
Good
hit
for
up,
us.
I think 3. Yeah, 3.
Yeah, okay, in a day. Yeah, so we had a day.
What was
in
like a
York.
cafe though? It was a cafe pub.
Yeah, we had teas.
We had teas. So maybe 2 pubs, 1 cafe.
I loved York.
Yeah, so
Absolutely
then
loved
York was
it.
nice. We had 2 nights there, but the first night we just kind of
We had a full day.
chilled. Had a bit of a mishap trying to figure out dinner, but we won't talk about that now because the TLDR there is it took us 2 hours to decide to have take-home pizza. We won't relive any of that.
But the
right
next
now.
day was lovely. We headed into town, and York is known for its medieval/Roman walls that kind of encircle the city.
Yeah.
They have like the longest standing portion of like their city walls, still there, and you can walk all of it.
Yeah.
So we just spent 2 hours doing that.
Yeah, and the craziest thing to me was that you had, these Roman ruins in the city and all these epic churches, and then you also have these castles, and within these castles you had, we were learning about this poop chute.
So we just learned that this was their toilet. Like, this is the exit of their toilet. And yep, it's just in the street. That's not good.
It's like, don't look up 500 years ago or whatever. But then at the same time, they've got these Roman ruins where like 2,000 years ago, they had a sewage system. So it's like the Romans came, had sewers, and then the English were like, who needs sewage?
Yeah, it is weird. We should look into that. I'm so curious. Like, yeah, it seems like such a weird, like, mistake that could have been avoided because the technology was there. But it was nice to see that it was interesting to see that the Romans had gotten that far north.
Yeah.
There's a massive sculpture in front of York Minster.
Yeah.
York Minster itself is beautiful. St. Mary's Abbey. Like, just there's so much history. There's so much history everywhere we've been. But there especially, and it was really, beautiful to see. And to our delight, most of the things we did were free.
Yeah. Would go back to York. It's great.
Except the pubs were not free.
No, but they were reasonable.
Yeah, York was great, and that wrapped up our time in England before we crossed the border to Scotland.
Up next, last video.
Just makes it. It's my head level. Nope, I'm gonna hit both of these.
Come on, Crouchy Will.
Well, here
You're fine. You're standing.
Here I'm good. Let's see who does it. I mean, you should beat me, right?
Probably. Do you get multiple gulps then? Did you get it? No.
Wait, which line? Which line is the one you go for?
The middle of the E.
Middle of the
The
Well, you
black
lost.
line? The black line?
I lost.
Well,
No,
no,
you
you're
lost.
closer.